Operation 004, Neo-Mu Ocean Metropolis.
Here we go. It's time to begin Operation 004, which is, as Alice said, Neo-Mu Ocean Metropolis. Woot.
Tachyon radar showing no enemy activity.
As you know, 2 of our top-secret super reactors have been the target of Geathjerk attacks. Therefore, we must assume that the enemy will continue their attack on the other 3 reactors. Make no mistake, there is absolutely no way that we are going to lose Margarita. Her creator gave up her life to build the shield, and we will give up ours to defend it.
Her creator?
Yo, Gramps. What was the deal with that whole 24 hours thing you were talking about in the shuttle?
The super reactors only pump out enough juice to power Margarita for exactly 24 hours. After that, poof! Bleeding edge stuff, you know.
Then what are we doing just standing around? Let's hit them where it counts.
We knew this day was a-coming, so we whipped up a little something sure to stop them invaders in their tracks. Feast your peepers on the Shirogane Comet!
The Shirogane Comet?
As long as she is not as frail as her maker.
Roof! My baby's a super dreadnought-class weapon on a 10-year orbit around Earth. An antimatter particle cannon, capable of knocking a whole planet off her rocker in an instant. We finished her up after Earth Defense War II, see, and disguised her as a comet to throw everyone off the scent. Now, we wait 24 hours for them jerks to come into firing range, and victory is ours!
Wow, yeah, cool story, bro. Would've been nice if you shared that sooner.
Alas, I must agree with Blue.
You do realize we spent an entire day on the Shirogane Comet during Sentinel's orientation?
Neo-Mu at 1,000 meters, entering range of enemy hydro radar.
All right, team. Review time. Neo-Mu is under heavy attack from a large enemy force. There is no doubt that they are after the super reactor we've hidden there. Your mission is to push back the enemy and defend Neo-Mu's super reactor at all costs. Everyone clear?
Roger! Team, fall in!
Roger!
So, it's time for us to head to Neo-Mu. Not quite sure the pun they're going with in the name, but oh well, there's not a whole lot I can do with that. Thankfully, I can help you out with one of the next areas that we're going to be heading to after Neo-Mu. But first, we've got to deal with this place. So this is basically the water level of the game, and it's going to provide us with lots of water to deal with. And also, as you've probably guessed, if you've been following the general pattern of all of the operations, we're going to meet a new wonderful one in this particular operation. It's always the A ones. I think it just kind of... because that means you have to use that move. It's a very nice way of doing it. I mean, it's certainly better than Bayonetta's tactic of weapons, because you you get all of them and don't miss out. Guys, really?
In a cell, it is not right. This I could not do. You guys...
So Luke has gone off somewhere blooming typical.
The super reactor is in danger. Team, let's move!
Roger!
Indeed. Now, I should also point out that Operation 4 is going to be very, very important for Blue in particular. This is basically the operation for well, yeah, the operation for his backstory, essentially. Don't worry, we will see some of the others' backstories, and by others, I mean Red, a little bit later on. But either way, another successful Ukemi. I'm just taking pleasure in the fact that I have succeeded doing it sometimes, because I'm generally so poor at it. Either way, at this point, I really should have bought the treasure sensor. Because, like, seriously, that thing is necessary to get quite a lot of the things in Neomu. Also, we've just found Wonder PC, the Net Warrior. Always fun when you have these funny things in their names. Also another Geathjerk file, which is awesome. Now I believe in total you can get, I think it's 54 Geathjerk files and maybe 25 wonderful files on, say, a first run of the game. And in a single difficulty. The other things, I believe, tend to, particularly the wonderful files, mean that you have to play on multiple difficulties to unlock them, because they are tied to something that requires you to get that. Now, I don't know why, but sometimes the Wonder Toilets are a bit odd, in that sometimes it's very difficult to get your wonderful one sent into them. I don't quite know what it is. I don't know whether it's just aiming badly, or what have you, but it's a little bit frustrating. Also, the amount of times I've failed on that jump across sometimes has just been embarrassing. And I do mean really embarrassing. Thankfully, I don't think I will be showing you any of those fails, so that's good. Also, even though the game tells you, use your hammer to sink, do not do that just yet. Wait until all of the Dogus and Chudogus have risen to the surface before you even think about using hammer, because otherwise you will miss out on Mission 2. And you want Mission 2, because obviously this is an actual mission. It's not even a secret mission. So this does completely count towards your overall score. I mean, it would even if it was a secret mission, but still. Also, it's so easy to get a pure platinum on it. Like, probably one of the easiest ones in the game. Also, you don't want to go down because you want to be able to get this Kaku Radar, which only opens up after you have beaten Mission 2. So there's a lot of this going on in Neomu. It's a bit mean, but there we go. Now, I'd say this is a really surprisingly nice Kaku Radar, because the Orgons are not difficult to defeat. Like, really, definitely not difficult at all. And there's no limit as to how many Unite Mortar you need to use, so it's great. Now, there was a certain technique that you saw me use, unwittingly mind you, but I used it all the same. Basically, when you're drawing a Unite Morph, if you do either the spinning motion or the stinger, or don't know whether it was Wonderful Rising, but you can basically switch into your Unite Morph whilst using Wonder Cyclone or what have you, which is great if you want to kind of speed up the process of defeating certain enemies, because they just get hit, basically. Now the reason I say I'm not sure whether you can do it with Wonder Rising is because I don't know whether because you have to press B to be able to do it, but you can certainly do it with Stinger and Cyclone. And in fact, whenever you're juggling, doing that with Wonder Cyclone is a really excellent way of keeping that juggle up, because you lose very little air time, and the enemy is pretty much going to suffer. Oh, and I was doing so well at not getting hit. Boo. I can't see my overall score with this being particularly high, unfortunately. I think I'm probably going to get a gold or maybe less. Oh well, these things happen. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the main thing with the Kaku Raygars is you just want to beat them. Oh good, I got a gold. That's awesome. Also, if you get a weapon from an enemy, do make sure to pick it up at some point. Because there is an achievement, well, a bottle cap tied to it, which is get every single enemy drop in the game. Easier said than done, but it is possible. Now, when it comes to actually getting those drops, basically, the drop is totally dependent on which Unite Morph you use to kill that enemy. So when they appear, there's generally the circle that appears around them, and it's a very specific colour. And it changes each time they appear, and basically that colour dictates which Unite Morph you need to use to get their weapon. Which is a bit of a mean thing to do, but it does mean that you don't have to worry about missing things if you know which enemies' weapons you didn't get. Then you can very easily locate the thing that you want to get and do it. Now, I just missed a... don't know if it was a wonderful file or what have you, but basically there's a window behind that waterfall which has got something in it. And basically the way that you're going to get that is by not leaping over the edge, just kind of edging over, just dropping down into the very tiny little area there, and then doing the stuff that you need to do to send the Wonderliner up and get the collectible. Now, I probably should use Unite Sword far less than I actually do, because the likes of Unite Hand are definitely a lot more useful to you. Also, the Unite Morph that we are going to be collecting shortly, and by shortly I do mean kind of like in the next 10 minutes or so. Also, look, there's another wonderful one. You see, I'm reasonably back on the ball, which is helpful. Not as much as I should be, mind, but still reasonably back on the ball. And basically with this you just need a Unite Hammer to get yourself down. And don't do what I was doing with the jumping and slamming, because that doesn't get you anywhere. You need to literally stand on the platform, and that's how you descend. It's also how you are going to get into a rather difficult area to get into. Very shortly, actually. Also, look, it's a dark art. I've come to not be a complete fan of these guys. I think it's basically the fact that they very quickly get out of your team attacks and just become a pain to defeat otherwise. So as you could probably tell, that there's an ever so slight decrease in speed whenever you're underwater, which is frustrating. For the most part, the gameplay is exactly the same as being out of water, which is good, because otherwise this would be ridiculously infuriating. And you honestly don't spend that much time in water, even though this is a water level. But look, we already have another wonderful one, this time Wonder Pirate. Because we need more pirates in this game, apparently. Now, one thing that I'm going to point out is that you are not going to get all of the wonderful 101, all of the wonderful Wonder Below until the end of the game. It's physically impossible to find them all, because there are, I believe it's 2 in the last level of the game. So even though it's easily possible to get them all in one fell swoop, you aren't going to get them all until you have literally finished the game. So do keep that in mind, but you are going to want to try and get them all, because doing so unlocks you some bottle caps, and also is rather helpful because it allows you to utilise some other moves. Now, as I said, you had to use the awesomeness that is the hammer to get you somewhere difficult to get to. This is that moment. Essentially, what you need to do is you need to ride the thing down, and then when you let go, you've got to jump at the right time. I've definitely struggled to find that right time. I still don't really know what it is. But also drawing the biggest Unite hammer you possibly can draw, and then getting rid of it should give you enough height to just be able to simply jump onto the platform. Yes, now we've got Wonder Diver. They're just giving us loads in this mission. And that is your way out. Obviously you can't get in that way, so yeah. Also, even though we haven't come up against it quite yet, there is a highly similar bottle cap in this mission operation to what was in Operation 001. And we didn't actually get it whilst we were in 001 because I was a bit of an idiot. But there is a thing associated with pipes. Don't worry, we will be getting the one in this operation. Also, we've got half of the Wonder Toilets. I believe this to be an achievement. Well, it is an achievement, literally. Oh dear. Anyway, we've got a new enemy, the Hagune. I don't know that pun either. I want to know these puns, damn it, it's frustrating. Now, these wonderful enemies are relatively simple to defeat for the most part. I mean, they can hit hard and have got a wide variety of attacks. But, they're really not too bad if you know what you're doing with them. I mean, right now they are a bigger pain than they need be, because we don't have the necessary Unite Morph to tackle them. Although, even when they've done this and you don't have the Unite Morph that you need, you can still take them down, because you can attack them in this blind spot. And they can't do anything about it. It's brilliant. Although I wish I did kind of try and attack the front a little bit more. I just thought it was a matter of attrition to get our next wonderful one, rather than trying to attack its front. As you can see, you can, if you take your time, kind of slowly but surely waste it from the back, and it will go down. Obviously I should also be using Unite Hand if I want to stand any chance at speedfully taking this thing down, but for some bizarre reason speed was not in my dictionary at that present moment in time. I guess because I was slightly excited about the fact that I was just like, oh my god, this blind spot is real, because I'd seen it on a video and was rather bemused by the fact. So yeah, hopefully, come on, past me, get your ass in gear, you know, hit the front, get the latest wonderful one, and beat this thing incredibly quickly afterwards. Come on now, this is just getting ridiculous past me. What were you thinking? Well, I guess I know what I was thinking. I wanted to seem cool, but no. Either way, here we go. It's time for our next wonderful one.
Each, do unto others. Ni, home is where the heart is. Sang, reach for your dreams.
Wow, look who's here.
Ah, finally!
She, drink in moderation. Go. Honesty is the best policy. Look, the good old days are over.
This is his thing, right?
Oui. There are 100 of these, no?
Shit. Perhaps I have met my match. Hatch. Yes, I have met my match. Q. Let us have a match.
Combat! Get to the combat! Save the rest for later!
The rest will come later. Wonder Eyes, vital!
We've been waiting for you, Master of Ninjutsu, the wonderful one from the Shinshu Japan field office, Momoe Byakoi, aka Wonder White!
Fred, are you like hiding a teleprompter somewhere?
Vile doers of evil, prepare to answer for your crimes! Unite! Crawl!
And here we have Wonder White, the Claws of Calamity.
Wonder White, master of the wonderful Ryu! Banzai!
Who, as you were probably able to guess, is a massive Japanese stereotype. So, Wonder White is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, who you should recognise greatly. He's voice of Sasuke Uchiha in Naruto, the Prince in the majority of the Prince of Persia games, Ben Tennyson in a lot of Ben 10 stuff, and also he is the voice of Luca in Bayonetta and will be reprising his role in Bayonetta 2, and he is also the voice of Zero, Edgar Unki and Killseekers in Anarchy Reigns, so that is why Bayonetta 2 will be his 4th Platinum Games title as well. He's also the voice of Hasio in .hack/GU, all of its iterations, and yeah, he's just been in a ridiculous amount. If you don't know who Yuri Lowenthal is, you've been out of the loop a little bit. Also, like Clive in Press Layton and the Lost Future / Unwound Future if you're from America. I prefer Lost Future as a title, to be honest. Either way, we have 2 pipes here. One evidently does not take us forward, and it takes us into this room here. Take it, because you are going to want that. Because there's another wonderful one in here. They're just everywhere. Now, I will go into some of Wonder White's things a little bit later on, because we are coming to the end of this first half of Operation 004, and I don't think there's quite enough time to cover all the wonders of Wonder White. But if you want to have a wonderful secret operation, well, secret mission, move backwards. It's generally the way. And if you run back to around here, Secret Mission 7, against another bloody Geathjerk. These guys are just everywhere. At least they're pretty easy to defeat. Not so easy in this very, very, very small space, but in general, not that bad. Now, one thing I will say about Wonder White is that I'm surprised that he didn't get much criticism for the racial stereotype that he puts forward. It's only the single wonderful one that we have yet to find that received most of the flack. Because I mean, the thing is that obviously Wonder White, Japanese, and yet he is voiced by a white American, and yeah, either way, Yuri Lowenthal is pretty damn awesome at doing a not offensive Japanese accent, so that's always good. Also, I think if I recall correctly, Hideki Kamiya said he had I think it was a Japanese way of thinking, so they picked a good one for Wonder White, definitely. Either way, let's move on.